Hello, lovers. This is Melissa Louise, your absolute pleasure advocate, erotic blueprint, sex, intimacy, and relationship coach. And I want to speak to you today about how powerful we are in our own relationship with self and another to inspire change and speak into what we want. And this has a lot to do with the fact of the words that we speak and the fact that we're made up majority of water. So there was a study, a well-known study done on water by the Japanese guy, Masaru Emoto, I hope I'm saying that correctly, where he studied molecules of water and the effect that we can have on the molecules of water of the types of word and the words that we speak to the water and the energy that we give to the water. And since then, many studies have been done on plants, sprouts, rice, like where even I think it was Norway where children, some school children did experiments on rice where they had jars of cooked rice in a cupboard, and they, with one jar of rice, they would open the door and they would yell and scream at it and say horrible things to the rice. And that rice went black. With the jar of rice, where they would speak absolute love to it, give it adoring words, where the rice, sort of plumped up, and the rice that was left alone just was normal. So the reason I'm bringing in these experiments and speaking about this is because we can have that change, and we have that effect on our partnerships by the way that we speak to our partners, but also how we think about ourselves and how we speak to ourselves. So in my coaching, when I'm speaking with couples, or if I'm working with an individual that's in a couple, one of the major parts that I bring into is, what are you speaking into the space each day? So this, under the label of compliments, how many compliments a day do you give? How do you take notice of? And this is not just in relationship, it's also with our children, is when we speak to our children, when we speak to our lover and our partner, what we adore and I love about them, we will get more of that. This is not about manipulation. This is speaking to their higher selves, to their higher parts, to the parts that are doing well, so that that is more present. Often we become so focused on what is missing, what is not working, what we don't have, what we need that is not in our space. Instead of speaking to the need, we speak to the lack of it. And we can fall into these loops, especially when we look at what we're bombarded with on social media and what we're bombarded with even in sitcoms and in movies and in TV shows, where it's like, it's that, like, if you think of the noise that's in so many movies, it's the anger, it's what's not right, it's all of the drama. And so when we fill our space, our brain and our thoughts and our speaking of that, then that is the only thing that could perpetuate more. So this part of, there's also been studies out of New York. I often joke, there's always these studies outside of New York about partnerships that where they complement each other at least 5 times a day. They are happier, they last longer, they have more of their needs met. And so it's one of the, as I mentioned before, the subjects that I speak to with my clients. Bringing and speaking to, you speak into reality. And so when we're looking at, our brain and our heart is made up more of about 73% of water. Our skin, 63% of water. Our body is made up the majority of water. So when we can incite change, when we can bring about the change that we want by the way that we speak to our lover, our beloved, to ourselves, then we get to understand how powerful our words are, but also how powerful we can be in speaking into what we want. So, and also too, water is such a huge subject. The quality of water that we're drinking, how we're drinking our water, how much water we're drinking. There's also too, how much are we putting into our body that is depleting the water, is dehydrating ourselves. And dehydration is not just on water. It's actually another molecule. It's actually around hydrogen. So there's starting tomorrow, there's an incredible 3-day summit, 2-day summit. The 3rd day is a bonus. So we're actually really talking about that. It's a 2-day summit on the quality of our water. And there's over 24 speakers that are speaking. They're like 45-minute TED Talk type talk. So it's not, you'll have access to the summit forever. The woman that is organizing this is so integral around that stuff. It's really awesome. And also tickets are only half price. So for $44, you can get the ticket to this summit. So even if you don't buy a ticket to this summit, I just, my wish is for you to understand how powerful you are in your relationships, to speak to the good parts of the person, of your partner, of your child, and you will get more of that. It is one of the hugest topics of my coaching when I work with individuals and couples, and also when I work with people that have, work with my clients and we speak about, their relationship with their children, is really speaking to the goodness of them, speaking to what is great. And it's not a form of manipulation. So, I know that I'm talking about a summit, I'm going to place the link at the summit, but I do want you to understand that even without the summit, I really hope that this video really supports you in your relationship and supports in you getting what you need. But below, I am going to include that the link to the summit. It's only $44. It's half price. It's going to stay half price all this week. It's also going to stay half price, I think, for another week. I think the woman, we were on a call with her the other day where she shared that. So anyway, at least this week it's half price. Take a look at the speakers. I mean, I know of a few of them, and I've been in the field of the other few of them. And a lot of these people, it's what I really love about this woman that organizes this stuff. She really searches. It's not just about influencers and Instagram, and that everyone knows. It's actually the people that are in the background, that are not on Instagram, not on social media, blasting themselves, that are actually doing the work in their life. And so there's some groundbreaking, some people that have done some groundbreaking studies that are creating groundbreaking products and all of the what do you call it, the researches that they do. And there's actually going to be a live blood analysis that starts off. So tomorrow morning in a lab, there's a live blood analysis on different types of water, which hasn't been done. This is not pre-recorded, it's happening live. So there's just some incredible stuff happening. And the reason I'm so passionate about it is because of what I just spoke about, that we affect so much change with the way that we bring quality of our thoughts, our words to water, but also the type of water that we're drinking. So go ahead and check that link out. If not, just keep following, hit subscribe on my YouTube to keep following for these inspirations and ideas that I have around you having the intimate and sex life that you deeply, deeply require for life. Sex is not optional. Like, your pleasure is not optional. It is an absolute requirement for your well-being. We are sexual beings innately. Our core comes from our sexuality, and it's a huge part of our wellness. So lovers, if you want to be, I'm also down there is to get a link onto my emailing list and a link to my website, and reach out if you are looking for support in this area in your life. Until then, fill your life with pleasure.